Welcome back. All right, so yesterday we saw a trade take place between the Oilers and the Sabres, and there was a lot of reactions, but when you look at the Buffalo Sabres, the team they've got put together, I understand why the move's made, and we'll talk about this because seriously, I get what Kevin Adams is trying to do here. This is a team that does need to make the playoffs. This is a team that also has cap space still. And the teams that still have cap space, we need to keep an eye on them the rest of the summer because while, yes, there's RFAs, we'll talk about that part of the picture as well. The reality is that these teams could very well be adding before we get to training camp in September. It is only July the 6th at the time of recording this. The Sabres currently have $13,724,485 in cap space. What's interesting is looking at the last two seasons, Buffalo was closer to the playoffs in 2022-2023, where they had 91 points. This past season, they had 84 points. It's the first time they've had two winning records in a row in a very long time. So it's a low bar. But what's interesting is they were outscored 300 to 296 in 2022-2023. So defense and goaltending were an issue there. This past season, defense and goaltending were pretty good. They allowed 244 goals, but they lost 50 goals. They ended up with 246 goals this past season. So they need to get the scoring back. And could Matthew Savoie have been part of what the solution could have been for that problem? Sure. But then there's the problem of finding exactly where he would play in their lineup. Keeping in mind that Lindy Ruff being hired behind the bench is seen as maybe a way to get Buffalo back above the playoff line and maybe they stay there. So the lines on the board are just the ones from Cap Friendly, which is still up. I'm surprised too. Maybe the Washington Capitals have heard so much negative feedback regarding their purchase of Cap Friendly that maybe they're not going to make it go dark quite so fast. And they're trying to figure out a way to make this work since so many people are very angry about the cap friendly purchase. But looking at the lines that cap friendly has, you have Peterka, Thompson, and Tuck as your first line. If that's your first line, Peterka's 22 years of age, Thompson's 26, and Tuck is 28. Peterka's 5'11". And when you look at this left side, you've got Zucker's 5'11 and Benson's 5'10. This is a league where guys are getting bigger, and Matthew Savoie is listed as either 5'9 or 5'10, depending which site you look at, but it seems like 5'9 is the most likely to be accurate to his height. If he is fudging his height a little bit, he wouldn't be the first. NHLers have been fudging their height, they've been fudging their age as well for a very long time. So, yeah. At any rate, Peterka this season had 28 goals, 22 assists, 50 points. He had a really, really solid run, played all 82 games. But Thompson, the 6'6", 26-year-old forward, he dropped back to not looking like Superman this year. 29 goals, 27 assists, 56 points in 71 games. If Buffalo's going to get back above the playoff line, they're going to need Thompson to get back to that superstar level. Tuck, 22 goals, 37 assists, 59 points in 75 games. And that's right in line with where Tuck's production has been through most of his career. He was above a point per game the year before, but the expectation was some of those guys had career years, but you didn't get the support they needed. So they added Zucker. He had 14 goals, 18 assists last year in 69 games. He's 32 years of age, so there's experience there. In fact, of their forward group, he's the only one 30 years of age or older. So experience is going to be talked about a lot with this crew. Cousins, 23 years of age. He had a bit of a not fantastic year, again, comparatively speaking, with the one before that. 18 goals, 29 assists, 47 points in 79 games. So coming back to the Savoie argument, well, you got Thompson, who's 26 years of age, Cousins, who's 23 years of age. They're centers. So Savoie, I think if he's going to succeed at the NHL level, needs to be playing top 6 minutes. If he's going to play down the middle, it wasn't going to happen in Buffalo. Then you've got Jack Quinn, 22 years of age, only played 27 games due to injury, 9 goals, 10 assists, 19 points. And definitely if Quinn had been healthy all season, I think they score some more goals. Maybe they're a little bit closer to the playoffs. Benson slotted onto that third line by Cap Friendly. Would we be surprised if he's on the second line and Zucker's on the third? No. But a teenager, and again, 5'10", 71 games, 11 goals, 19 assists, 30 points. And maybe the sin in all of this is that Kevin Adams has drafted players who are very similar to one another, and they're undersized. They're smaller players. So you add McLeod to this lineup. 81 games, 12 goals, 18 assists, 30 points with the Oilers. He's 24 years of age. And the good news is, because he keeps saying, well, maybe he can be a third line center, but he's not going to be a second line center. Well, Buffalo's not looking for a second line center. They've got Dylan Cousins. They're not looking for a first line center. They got Thompson. So McLeod slots into the third line spot. And again, if you have an undersized third line center, that can be a weakness for your team. Greenway, 6'6", 27 years of age, 67 games, 10 goals, 18 assists last season, 28 points. And then a completely revamped fourth line. You got Malenstein, who's 26, Lafferty's 29, and Aube-Kubel's 28. Malenstein is a restricted free agent currently, but he played 81 games for Washington, 6 goals, 15 assists, 21 points. I don't expect the offense to get a lot better than that, but speed. There's a lot of speed in this bottom six. Lafferty, 79 games, 13 goals, 11 assists, 24 points. And Aube-Kubel played 60 games last season, 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. And of course, he has a Stanley Cup ring as well. So there's some experience, there's some speed there, and this is overall a pretty good group. But again, you've got 3 forwards on the left side, again, projected left side, who are below 6 feet tall, in a league where it feels like guys are starting to get a little taller again. The undersized player, not getting pushed out necessarily, but not being seen as being as valuable as your big players. Now on the blue line, you've got Samuelsson and Dahlin, both 24 years of age. Samuelsson played 41 games, a goal and 6 assists for him. He's not an offensive player, but I do think him missing half the season hurt Buffalo's chances. He's also 6'4". Dahlin played 81 games, 20 goals, 39 assists, 59 points. Bit of a setback from the year before, but again, everybody had a really strong season in 2022-2023, points-wise and goals-wise. So I think this coming season, they should get back to more of an equilibrium. And again, if you can keep the defensive gains that you've had this past season, then you've got something, right? Owen Power's 21 years of age. He's 6'6", played 76 games this past season, 6 goals, 27 assists, 33 points. Power's fantastic. Yoki Haru, 25 years of age, 74 games, 3 goals, 17 assists, 20 points. Bowen Byram, I don't think he's going to be on the third pairing. I'm just going to say that. But again, I'm just going with their combinations because it really doesn't matter at this stage. But Byram's 23 years of age, 73 games, 11 goals, 18 assists, 29 points. Connor Clifton, 29 years of age. Now, Clifton's 5'11". He's the only one on this defense that's below 6 feet tall, but he plays bigger than his size. 79 games, 4 goals, 14 assists, 18 points. He throws the body around. He's not shy about dropping the gloves if he has to, and he adds something to these tandems, right? So you've got Samuelson's your defensive guy, but it does feel like Byram's going to force his way up. But you've got 3 really good defensemen here. I don't know if Buffalo holds on to all 3, because when you've got Power, Dahlin, and Byram, there's not really enough ice time. There's not really enough opportunities, I don't think, for all of them, but we'll see. And then you've got Luukkonen, 25 years of age, 2.57 goals against, 910 save percentage this past season. He's 6'4". He's currently a restricted free agent. He's going to get paid. I'm guessing it'll be a long-term deal, although he's in arbitration. So if it goes to arbitration, it won't be a long-term deal. It is in Buffalo's best interest to lock him down. Reimer's 36 years of age, 3.11 goals against average, 904 save percentage. He's 6'2". And then there's Devin Levi, 22 years of age, 3.11 goals against average, 899 save percentage. He's 6 feet tall. That's why he was taken late in the draft. That's why Wolf was available to the Calgary Flames late in the draft, because he's on the smaller side for goaltenders. So it is one of those situations now where they've got 3 NHL level goaltenders. You've got Reimer in case Levi needs some more time in Rochester, right? And in the event of an injury, Reimer's a guy who can play some games here and there. You want to make sure that you're covered for that. Now, there's the alsos on the board, and I wanted to get into the alsos after going through this. You've got Peyton Krebs, who's a restricted free agent. He's 23 years of age. Played 80 games this past season, 4 goals, 13 assists, 17 points. They acquired him, of course, in the trade for Jack Eichel. He's 5'11". Then there's Rushek. Rushek, 25 years of age. He's 5'11", 15 games, 2 assists for him. Roseanne, who was a number 14 pick in 2021. He's 21 years of age. He's 5'11", played 7 games for the Sabres. He did not score a point there. Then you got Kulik, 20 years of age, 5'11", was seen as maybe passing Savoie on the list of where everybody was on the depth chart. He just played the one game for the Sabres this past season, but he was a number 28 pick in 2022. They also drafted Ostland that season. He's 20 years of age. He's 5'10". He was a number 16 pick in 2022. So you have 5'10", 5'11", 5'11", 5'11". And then who did they just draft? Consta Hellenius. He's 18 years of age. He's 5'11". He was the number 14 pick in, I got the wrong year there. I'm going to go ahead and fix it. We'll just pretend that the entertainment guy did it. That's what happened. And then that's a different color. We'll just forget that. But in 2024, Hellenius, who's also below 6 feet tall, gets drafted by Buffalo. It's not a matter of, and again, this is where we can have that conversation about Kevyn Adams and ask ourselves, has he been adding too many undersized forwards? Has he been drafting too many of them? Is this something they shouldn't have been doing in the first place? Did he look at their depth chart and then look at the Florida Panthers lineup, look at the Edmonton lineup and go, these are pretty big teams. We need to get bigger. And so you add McLeod, who's not below 6 feet tall. He's not a gargantuan player or anything, but still, and he's got the NHL experience. He's 24 years of age. There's still room for growth there. Maybe he gets to 20 goals if he's on their third line. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe they don't need him to hit 20 goals when you look at that top six and you look at some of the players they've got there. Now, on the blue line, you've got Bryson, who's 26 years of age, played 36 games, a goal and 7 assists this past season. Ryan Johnson, 22 years of age, 41 games and 7 assists. He's another talented young defenseman. They're going to be trying to get into that top six as soon as possible. You only have so many top six positions. Gilbert, 27 years of age, added as a free agent, 34 games, 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points. And then you got Cale Clegg, who's 26 years of age, got into 3 games this past season and had 1 assist. So I don't mind the way this team is made up. I really feel like the trade yesterday may have been a sign that Kevyn Adams realized we need to improve this lineup, and we have a lot of undersized forwards. We need a true third line center. May have seen McLeod from the Oilers as that, and may have had a more difficult time seeing Savoie playing that third line role. I understand that, and we'll see whether or not it pans out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe Buffalo is a miserable season, it all falls apart, and Kevyn Adams is looking for a new job in the spring, but there is that chance that this helps. The other thing that would help is Quinn staying healthy, Samuelsson staying healthy, and Tage Thompson getting back to being the Tage Thompson we saw in 2022-2023. And for the Sabres to have that offensive punch they had, not this past season, but the one before, while maintaining that defensive structure, while maintaining that really good goaltending. Luukkonen was the best goaltender in the league at points after the turn of the calendar once we got into January. And so they're going to need more of that this season. So I'm not all doom and gloom on Buffalo. I'm not predicting playoffs or anything. But I do understand why the move was made that was made, because you have a lot of young players here that are waiting for their chance to get into the lineup, and a lot of them are similar to what Matthew Savoie would bring to the lineup. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event that you've not done so already. And again, I'm not trying to say that everything's fantastic in Buffalo or that people who have concerns over the way things have been run aren't necessarily right. I'm just saying that when a trade gets made, you kind of have to look at the bigger picture, and it doesn't necessarily mean that if Savoie hits the ground running in Edmonton and he has a really good run, that he would have done the same in Buffalo, or that there was a way to make it work in Buffalo. Unless you want to trade Benson, and I don't think there's a Buffalo fan that wants to see Benson go out, and I really don't think Benson's going anywhere either, but Buffalo definitely has the cap space to make moves before the season starts. Even if Luukkonen gets a big chunk of that $13 million, they'll still have some cap space left to do something. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As I said, if you haven't already hit like and subscribe, please do. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.